Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and it's going to be a video looking at and reviewing Mythic Silken Court, a kill of this fight. This is going to be a kill from last week. I forgot to record this week, but it is what it is. This is a kill before the nerfs came in, well, this week, essentially, where we still have 4 stacks max the buff. The beetles hit harder. Whatever they nerf this week, it's not in here, but it doesn't really change the way the fight functions a whole lot, barring dispels, so you can adjust that really quickly and easily. And we're going to review basically all that in this video. This is my own play. I'm old. I'm not perfect, but I'm going to hit on what I do here, why I do it, CD wise, all that, and then just go from there. If people are maybe, progging this fight, looking to do so, maybe it helps out a little bit in some ways. If you guys want any weak horrors, add-ons, or anything, links to Twitch, Discord, all down below, as well as up here. And yeah, let's get it rolling. We played a Hellcaller Affliction on this fight. If I remember, I'll put a link to like the logs in here, but it's the typical build everybody plays in this fight. If you're killing this fight, typically you can look at Warcraft logs to figure it out. But if not, regardless, Hellcaller AF feels pretty good. Now, very briefly before we get into the actual video here, this is Lorrgs. If you guys don't know it, Lorrgs.io. You can look at basically all the top parses of any class you want, any spec you want, any fight, a million different cooldowns you can look at here and figure out what you want to do CD-wise. This fight has changed a lot over the past few weeks, months. It's been nerfed a handful of times. Once again, this kill here is from... It's pre last week's nerfs, where you can get like 5 stacks, the orbs and the beetles are nerfed, and something else changed. No big deal. It's all the same pretty much. They changed the spells, but it's the same thing here for the most part. If you want to look at like soul rot time, you can turn off, PS to see where people are doing it, all that stuff, so on and so forth. But honestly, whatever you want here. And you can see a lot of disparity in kill times, looking at 639 versus 836, all this. Some are older, some are newer. If you're playing Affliction here, most are just playing Hellcaller at this point. It's very strong, it's good, all the above. Now, the CDs have changed a little bit. This is what I had for the actual first CDs I did on this fight. Many moons ago, we were dark layering at 39, 338, 610, and 820. Fights aren't even lasting until 820 anymore most of the time. It's dying 2 minutes earlier, give or take. So we're shifting a bit from this. But regardless, this is all the same. Phase 2 and Phase 3 sequencing. We'll go over it in the video as well. But one thing that I have done based on our kill times being a little unpredictable and stuff, I have shifted from dark layering. Here we're dark layering at 610. Most are dark layering around 650, which is the end of the fight, and that is where things want to shift a little bit. These are older CDs. Right about here, around 6, give or take. This is after the beetle intermission, second, when he burrows, basically, and you finish that. People do, at times, dark layer here. I think dark layering here is better on shorter kills, which you'll see a lot. Right about here, people are doing a singularity soul rot window here without dark layer and popping it here. I think this is the better sequencing, depending on how fast it goes. If you kill it faster and faster, it might change. But we're going to hit on that general pacing here. Talk about circling in this fight, why to do it, why not to do it, all that, and just, yeah. All right, so this is going to be a VOD review directly off Twitch. If it's a little blurry, it shouldn't be, actually. We're streaming in 2K on Twitch. We're going to test market for that, which is very cool. If anything's weird on it, sorry. Hopefully it all works out. I don't know. But this is a kill from, once again, pre-nerfs this week, but it should be fine. We'll talk about the changes. The changes are beetles do less damage. Web soaks don't drop orbs. There's one less to spell, and something else. I forgot. But either way, you can soak 5 orbs, or I guess 4 or 5, whatever. One more. Yeah, so one thing here, so we're going to pull in a minute here. This is Muffin Circle, the other Warlock. He's playing Destra, I'm playing F. This is mine. Now, the way circling works in this fight, as far as I know, as far as I've heard and everything, basically, let's say I was to circle from my circle being here to right here. From what I understand, the way that circling works in this fight, and you have to do it very, very sparingly, unless you're totally sure you're not going to hit anybody of the opposing color. You don't want to circle unless you're totally sure you're not going to do that, because the way circling works, what I understand, is that if I was here and I circle out here, which I'm going to do in a minute, even though it ports me from here to here, there's an invisible trajectory of me traveling from here to here. So if I'm red, if somebody was blue in this line of me traveling, it would collide and we'd die. So only circle in this fight if you're very sure you're okay and not going to hit anybody. If you're unaware of it or whatever, or not sure, I wouldn't do it. Honestly, I think this gateway's terrible too, but hey, it's whatever. So, but yeah, so we're gonna get into it. My circle's here. I start in this boss here. I am red. Now we shroud everybody in here. You want to start under the boss, because this boss is weird and buggy, pun half intended, and at times if you don't start in the boss's actual like hitbox slash ring of the blue and red circle you'll see here, even if you move into it, at times it won't debuff you and you'll just die and you can't be res. It's terrible. Just start under the boss if you're in this group, whatever, you're over here, just shroud in, whatever. Precasting a haunt into a UA at 2 and going in. My malevolence button's right here. You'll see it in a minute. Dark Lair's here if you want to look at CDs, but that's that. So what we're going to do here, haunt, UA, agony, wither, whatever. I'm going to dump a shadow bolt here and some raptures before I shift out. This fight, you're playing Shadow Bolt as Hellcaller, a lot of movement. You can dump Nightfall procs pretty easily. Play around them, adjust accordingly, and all that. So what you saw here, it's going to be harder to do than a VoD. So basically, I'm in here, we're opening up. I cast a Shadow Bolt and a few Raptures. I'm dumping some shards here. I am part of the group of ranged. The red group is going to be in the middle of the room baiting webs. We're doing like the ranged bait melee web strategy. So I'm going to Rapture a bit here. I'm going to circle out. Nobody that's blue is ever over here. This is a safe circle. It's no problem for me. So I'm going to do it. Muffins is right here. Shifting out, and we're going to bait webs. Now, these webs, basically in the middle of the room, are irrelevant. We're going to have webs in melee that our tanks and melee are going to do to root the boss. So these are baited. We're going to soak them, which spawns an orb. The orb was not spawned anymore. This was changed this week. This is a pre-orb or pre-nerf VoD, whatever, no big deal. You won't get these orbs. Either way, we then move a little bit to spread for the rain. This rain damage will drop an orb. So post change, you're not going to see this orb here, but you will have this. So we spread a bit, no big deal. Now we're going to rotate in here. Blue is going to rotate out over here to soak these orbs. And a few will rotate out here to the middle where we were. We're going to come in here and soak these. So right before we did this, basically, I'm refreshing my UA, my haunt and the bosses here. On this one, Lorrgs gets haunt and UA. He's the first big prior damage target. Gonna catch Agony and Skein Splinter here as well. Rotating out again, refreshing, moving, whatever. Now we're shifting in here. We're gonna have a first CD set coming up in about 10 seconds. So we're gonna move in, soak an orb or two, waiting for them to move. We're gonna have Scarabs spawn here. I grab one orb, I grab two, and at this point, Scarabs are out. We're going into our first CD window. Now, we're gonna have Malevolence and Dark Lair, everything here. I'm casting my seed and like UA, whatever, what have you, Singularity Soul Rot on a Lorrgs. He's going to jump away and charge back in, which the melee and tanks are going to root with the webs here. Now, these Scarabs should be gripped in right about there from our DKs. One might be floating around for a little while. Maybe it gets gripped in, maybe it doesn't, whatever. At this point, you can see my spell is being cast over here. Rotating in, I'm going to cast Seed pretty early. Some people agony these ads, some don't. I don't agony them. I'm casting Seed on a Lorrgs now. That one gets pulled in. It hits everything but this Scarab. I don't... They die so fast at this point with an Ellie Shaman and 2 Warlocks and all that. I don't really bother agonying them. If one's out here, it's out here. Maybe I'll throw a dot on it. I don't know. So I'm casting Seed on a Lorrgs here. I'm casting my Soul Rot. I'm going to go into Singularity then. I cast Soul Rot before Singularity here. It's a longer cooldown, a minute versus 45, and it's sort of tight on timing going into the next set. So I think casting it earlier here is better. Plus you can get more cleave if Scarabs are dying fast or whatever from their harvest stuff. Casting Soul Rot here, casting Singularity, going into a Dark Lair, Haunt, Dark Lair, whatever, and then Potion. Now the boss ports away here. He's running away. Technically, I already had a haunt active on a Lorrgs here. You can haunt and Skein Splitter if you want here for dual haunts. I didn't. It's whatever. I lose a Rapture stack here. Shouldn't, but I'm just setting up. It is what it is. So the boss runs away. At this point, I just Dark Laired. I'm popping Malevolence here as well. And we have Big Cleave on both bosses here. Dots are rolling. Dark Lair's out. Malevolence is flaring up Withers. And we also have the Beetles active, right? Now, I'm not holding all my Raptures for past here. I should be at 5 shards optimally. I spent one too many shifting in. Shard, RNG, all that. It is what it is. So I'm dumping Raptures here. You'll notice the damage coming out here. It's cleaving on Skein Splinter, as well as a Lorrgs over here, but all the Beetles are getting cleaved here as well. Beetle cleave from Seed, from Sow, from Singularity. You can see our damage climbing here a good bit. I will cast some Shadow Bolts into Skein Splinter here. Now, the issue with that is my UA target is a Lorrgs, which I have to hit him to proc Crescendo. He's across the room. I've seen some shift over here to hit him a bunch with Shadow Bolts and stuff to try and proc TC. I don't bother. You can if you want. I don't know if it's even optimal at this point. But he's going to charge in. Now, typically I'll have 2 to 3-ish shards when he hits the wall here. If you want, you can dump more earlier if you set up a little faster for more Beetle Cleave, a bit less boss damage, whatever. But right about here, he's being rooted. Here's the damage amp. I have Malevolence rolling still. Dark Lair still out. We have Potion rolling still. Big damage here still. And this is where we start climbing more. 1.8, 2 million, 2.13. We climb more and more. I actually ran out of shards here a little fast. And the moment a Nubrash is in like range of casting, you swap to him. Right, I have a weak aura. It shows the wrong target here. I believe that this weak aura is part of the Northern Sky weak aura pack when it pops in a minute here. When I'm hitting Silken Splinter with Shadow Bolts. So right about now, give or take, right? We're back on a new Brash, launching Shadow Bolts here, trying to proc Raptures, TCs again, shifting out here, spreading for rain, and once again, this will drop orbs, so the next rotation comes up here. CDs are falling, we're going to rotate back out this range center bait. I'm going to grab 1 orb here, Muffin grabs 2, our healer grabs 3. Now the boss can jump left or right here, depending what happens. This is how you react. He goes this way, so we shift over here. Blues are going to come out this way. So give them some room. You can play way over here if you want for now. You don't need to be in a bait spot as of yet. So doing whatever, maintaining dots, whatever. Boss is moving over, still hitting a new Brash here. He will be your next prior target again. He's going to charge the wall again. Blue moves over. They're going to bait the frontal in this direction. I'm on the edge here, so hopefully it doesn't go on me. If it does, just shift more in. We're going to spread for rain here. So rain is coming out. Once again, these rains... these rains will spawn orbs. The webs in 5 won't. So rain's coming out. There's an orb. I shift over a little bit. It's baited properly. This is going to spawn an orb here, these webs, which I will soak. Post buff or post nerf, they won't anymore. So you just have 1 and not 2. No big deal. Now, if you notice, we'll backtrack a bit here as well. Right about... let me see. As they're spawning at about 2 here, watch my cast sequencing here as well. As they're spawning, waiting a second for his grip to come in. Casting a Shadow Bolt, casting a UA. I'm going to cast Seed right about now. Seed? I'm seeding because the beetles are already in and they're gripped. So we done that. I bait the web, soaking the web, moving out. I'm going to throw a Singularity on the move here. And right about here, the boss is getting ready to charge about 6. I'm hitting a new Brash with UA and Haunter up. He's charging away. I'm going to cast Soul Rot. Now, I stop in Soul Rot because the boss is going to charge in about 3, and I want this cleave from Dark Harvest and Soul Rot on the boss, right? I have Malevolence in 2, and if you cast your Soul Rot before your Singularity in the first set, you'll have a timing about this. If you cast Soul Rot after Singularity, it's very, very close to hitting that charge window of not having it, having the boss across the room. When you cast Soul Rot and not cleaving on the beetle. So we're going to cast it here. If nobody soaks this, soak it. Warlock's got to set up in this fight a bunch. Boss charges away, popping Malevolence here, and start rapturing. Similar to before, Beetle's already dead here. We have an Ellie Shaman in and another lock. They just blow up. DKs, destroy them. It is what it is. Usually you can get more cleave, but it's whatever. A new Brash across the room. I have 2 Nightball stacks here. I'm just rapturing a bit. I will swap the Silken Splinter and throw a Shadow Bolt or 2 here. He jumps away. We're back on a new Brash when he's rooted. The moment he's rooted, back on him. Big damage, dumping Nightfall stacks here, trying to proc TCs. Got one there. Dump this Shadow Bolt at some point. Whenever Raptures are done. Bang. Got another TC proc. Good. So that's the first burn. We're going to shift across the room here. Now, there are blue players over here. This is a gnome rotation. I am over here dancing with this mage in the first intermission. We're starting in this quadrant. The dance is the same every time. So we're going to head over here. The mage is going to shift right over here behind me, and we're going to dance this way the whole fight pretty much. For the whole intermission. So Silken Splinter is going to move in here. Try and catch your agony on Silken Splinter before the boss jumps away in that second wall charge by the beetle. So obviously you want more damage here, but you'll likely stop damage at some point anyways. So boss moves away. But he's behind me under the weak warrior here. So we're going to spawn 1 blue and 1 red. It is our job to soak each other's orbs during the intermission. Don't worry about this. Just worry about each other. It's fine. So there's a team here and a team over here. It's Muffin and somebody else. The other Warlock and somebody else. I don't know who. Our jobs are to soak these. The dance is going to be the same every time as long as you're in the same spot every time. So we're going to rotate clockwise. Basically soaking each other's orbs. We know we're going to be clear here. Next, we're going to soak these. This is going to fill. We're going to wait for this to fill. Wait for this to pop. Then go over here. So we're going to soak this. Some damage, whatever. Grab this. It's going to fill. Moving over. That side's clear. We're going to drop. That side's going to pop. No big deal. Right about here, you're going to get Singularity. Now, you're going to typically stop DPS in this phase. It depends if you want to throw Singularity here or not. It's up to you. I throw mine. Whenever DPS stop is called, I stop DPS. Some players greed through it. Some don't. I stop. I throw my Singularity for a little bit of self-healing here. It is semi-relevant. I'll rapture a bit. UA falls, shifting up here, soaking his orb. I'll reapply UA, and then damage stop is called right about here, so we just chill. Moving back over, the dance is the same. Counterclockwise, just chilling. Rotate through, soak this. Bang, there's that. We're going to have another bait coming up, same as it was a minute ago. Heading over. Bam. Perfect. Orbs drop. Shield's broken here. Now, depending on how the team's rotated in melee, you might have the red team here. You might have the blue team here. Whoever's team is here, you give the opposite, like at least we do, the color it's not here, like priority to move around. Like basically he's blue, I know he's going to shift this way to go to his team. We always rotate clockwise to go to your team. So if, like Muffin's over here, the other two players like this, they're going to move like this to their team. If red's going to go like this. Blue will go like this to rotate to their team, right? So watch this. He's going to say, all right, I'm moving. Now I'm going to move in. I'm not going to pull any weird backflips in here. Straightforward to my team once he moves. Easy safe. There's Muffin. He gated over. I hate this gate. I think it's terrible, but either way, whatever. I've died to players doing it, but hey, it is what it is. He gates over. We're good. So now phase 2 begins. We're in a spot of you're going to get both teams pulled in here. You're going to use a weak aura for it. Most will use probably the same one. It's going to say either left or right, which you're pre-assigned to do, or through boss. Now, you follow what that weak aura says to a T. If you get pulled in, you go in, totally right, totally left. Not like forward and then left. It's literally in, out, or straight through. If you're going straight through, you're going to soak orbs regardless. So we get through boss and break here, right? If you notice, blue's going to get pulled here. They're right through. Watch how they cut this angle, right? There's no like, oh, walk forward because you're going to hit red. You cut, right? Blue is through. Right about now, and they're running straight left and right. Straight left and right, right? There's no walking forward and doing stuff. This is honestly too risky. Right through, break. No big deal. Maintain dots, obviously. It's whatever. I try and dump some raptures beforehand here. We're holding CDs at this point, too, just to clarify. It's about a 320-ish, 325-ish timestamp. Either way, blue splits off here, so red can be pulled through. Red's going through. We're going to soak orbs here. I get 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 4 would have killed me here. But now it can be 5, because this is like pre-nerf. So dispels begin now. We're going through. We're going to break the web. Web's hurt. Break the web. So you're going to get dispelled here. Where they begin, right? So what's going to happen, I have packed here. I'm probably going to instant pact. I do. Beetles still hurt. They hurt. If you have a beetle on you with a dispel, it's going to hurt exceptionally bad. You might want to call for an external if you don't have hellstones and walls and stuff. You can coil them away, but sometimes they don't get gripped in. If they don't, say a prayer, call for an external, and say, hey, I need help. So the weak aura assigns dispels my raid frames here, right? I am dispel 4. This is where I also circle again. So I know red team is over here. Nobody from blue is over here. Blue is over there, right? I will place a circle somewhere, probably. Maybe I already did. Right there. I know red's over here. I'm typically 4th or 5th dispel based on assignments internally. So we're calling dispels here. They're calling it in Discord. 1, 2, 3. When you get dispelled, you're under the boss directly. The moment you get dispelled, whether you're 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 here, you get out because the next person has to be in. Now, this has been changed from 5 dispels to 4. So you're only going to get 4. Each dispel applies a buff to the boss that makes it take 20% damage increase. It's now 25 post nerf. They buff the damage it takes, right? 5 to 4, 4 to 5, whatever. It's still 100% at max dispels. So what you're going to do, currently here we have 5. With the changes, you're going to do the first 3, and then some guilds will hold the last dispel to milk like the damage amp, because last dispel stuns the boss and applies the max damage amp to it. They'll hold that dispel to the very end to milk damage on the bosses or the boss, right? Someone just say dispel 1, 2, 3, 4 without overlapping. You're good to go. Whatever your guild wants. The point being, I have a circle down here. Right about here is where I'm going to start setting up CDs. Now, beetles do spawn here. I don't know if I throw a seed here. I should throw a seed here. Circle goes down. Beetles are coming in roughly right about now, give or take. I might not even throw in a seed here. I don't know. You should seed here if you want. I had dispelled 2. 2 meaning I'm basically next. It's coming up sort of fast. Usually I'm 5, but I have 4 here. So circles down here. I'm beginning a setup here already. I cast my UA and Skeen Splinter, which is going to be the next big damage amp. We're going to throw probably a Soul Rot or Singularity next here. I'm actually heading in now. So I'm a little behind on CDs here. I should have already Singularity and Soul Rotted or been around there roughly. Throwing a seed here, but I'm in for Dispel. Dispel's out now. Bang. That's the Dispel. I'm circling out. Back out. No one from blue's over here, ever. If they're over here, they're wrong. So that saves some movement getting out. You're out fast. We have 1 Dispel left, which is on Thought Our Priest. The death cast is at 6 seconds roughly, give or take. So I am setting up here. I am behind on damage. I should have thrown a seed here already and started pumping, but we throw Singularity, we throw Soul Rot. This is big damage window. We throw Dark Lair, Malevolence, applying Haunt to Skein Splinter here, roughly. And then I'm going to pop my Spymaster right about now. I should, because I popped it late. I don't know. I forgot. It's what it is. I'm old. Point being, he went to Spymaster about now. I totally forgot there. That's pretty bad, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I'm old. I don't know. So there's that. Typically, you want to throw a seed and pop CDs there properly, but hey, once again, you know, there's that. So after that, that's our big CD window. We're going to shift over here. You always typically bait to the left here. You're going to get pulled in again. We're going to speed up a bit here because it's taking a little while, but do CDs better than me. That's okay. Usually I'm fit this spell. So you're going to get pulled in here. The boss is going to port across the room. It could be in 2 different spots, and you're going to react to that accordingly. Now, we're red. We get assigned the left-right, basically, move here from the pull. You're going to be spread a bit more here. So once again, the moment you get pulled in, you go left to right and break this, right? So we're in, right, left. Break it immediately, because blue's coming through the boss and getting pulled in. We're running through here. We're going to soak these blue orbs here. We're going to get a frontal, which you can sort of bait a little bit depending on where it goes. Right about now. Shift through, do whatever happens. And you're going to have more beetles coming up here. And this is going to be basically the next damage amp on the fight. The boss ports to the middle again here. You're going to have more dispels coming out. Now, these come pretty fast too, right? So they're already out. Debuffs are already out. Skein Splinter, the skinny one's over here. We're going to do 1 dispel on the wall. It might even do 2, depending how it goes. We do 1. Wait for frontal. Yeah, we do 2 there. And the boss is going to port to the middle. You're going to have 3, 4, and 5 done there. Now, these beetles are a little more funky. Sometimes they get gripped in later on, sometimes they don't. But they're pulled in. I throw a seed here. I'm hitting Skein Splinter with my Singularity. We're setting up damage again here roughly. Singularity. We're going to cast Soul Rot about 3. Setting everything else up here. Soul Rotting. Basically now I'm a little behind. You can tell I'm pissed off. It's okay. Popping my Malevolence. Big damage amp here. I'm a little behind because typically I scuffed these a bit in like the first like big burn a minute ago. It is what it is. Usually you can get them a little faster there and burn beetles down. But you're pumping here. This is Malevolence, Soul Rot, Singularity window, all that. You can put another Haunt up on a new brush if you want here. You can have dual rolling because of like Soul Rot, Rapture, duration extension, but you know, is what it is. So at this point, you're going to have intermission coming up. Now, this is the beetle intermission with the spikes in the floor. Go to your markers. You're going to have red and blue, and it's pretty simple. It's going to rotate. Yeah, boss jumps away, whatever, no big deal. You're going to rotate around. So we're in red here. Try and spread from other players, not double stack orbs here. If they're double stacked, they're hard to see. You might think you're soaking 1 orb, but you end up pulling 2, and that can, you know, spell disaster for somebody, right? So damage comes out. We're shifting around. Keep pumping damage here. You might call for a damage stop at this point, or at some point, depending on how fast you are in CDs. Just rotating around. No reason to over-rotate. Just soak orbs is what it is. We're going to rotate a bit more here, and then stop in about 2 seconds for this upheaval. Stopping about now. Spread again, if you can. Very close. I wanted a Hellstone here, but I held. I knew it wouldn't die. Heading through here. Once again, drops come in. Still rotating around. Still rotating. Might have called damage stop about now, give or take. I think it did. Our UA fell. Yeah, we called damage stop. Shield's broken. Soak the last orbs here. And you are through. Both teams should be stacked together. Right? No big deal. We're going to have, I believe this is going to be, so the boss port's over here. Now, right around this timestamp is where CDs change a bit. In early progression, when they both get stacked up here, the boss comes over here. We're going to have like we're going to have a bait, and we're going to shift, I believe, towards the wall. Now, the boss is also going to have like some weird, like sort of fake damage amp coming up in a minute here. But either way, we're going to have the bait come out, shift to the wall here. And we're going to have the pull in, right? Now, right around here, the 550-ish mark, you can see I threw my Singularity and my Soul Rot. These are the CDs I'm following now, at least for the near future, right? Right about here when they're both stacked up. In Prog, you would hold a bit longer and CD around, I think like 610 after like wall charge, a couple other things here and there, depending what you were doing. I think doing it here is better because the boss is going to die within like a couple minutes, give or take, and you're gonna basically get 1 more big Dark Lair. You're not getting 2 here either way, so there's no point in doing like ASAP Dark Lair when they're both back together and trying to get it at the end. Not gonna happen. The boss is not gonna live till 8 minutes, right? So we're going Singularity Soul Rot here, popping Malevolence, a little bit of Cleave, a little bit of damage, whatever. Frontal comes in. We're going to bait this way, move towards the wall, and we're going to get another pull in here. Spreading out. It'll assign left, right, through, keep tethers, whatever, which we get pulled here. So we're going through the boss. Well, we're going to get pulled in. Going to go immediately right, and we're going to keep this web. These webs are being kept to root the beetle. It's going to charge away, right? So we're going to do this. Pull through immediately right, and on my left from right, holding these webs. I'm linked to Muffin here. So one of us needs to go along here. One of us needs to hang back to like basically root the boss. We have multiple webs. Not the end of the world, but just no reason to not hold it. One might break, whatever. It is what it is. He goes far. I stay here. Give him some space. He watches where I am. I walled here. I think I walled a little early, actually. Well, I guess it's fine because of the tether damage. But either way, the boss is being rooted here. Now, this damage amp on the beetle is sort of fake. If the boss is at 25% here, it might be a little higher for you. But right when this happens, you want to bait the frontal from the skinny boss across the room. And I don't think I'm even in a good spot here. I'm pretty sure I played it in a really awkward angle. Maybe I moved a bit. It might have been a week before, but yeah. This comes across the room. You want to be ready for this so you can then shift out of it quickly because you're in red, you don't get hit, all that stuff. The boss is like stunned here, but you're not getting much damage in here because right after this frontal and this stun ends, you're getting pulled. So you're shifting over to the skinny boss here, heading over, red this side, blue this side, and getting ready for a web vortex, right? So here we go, coming in, we're getting pulled. Might say wrong target, but I'm setting up dots here because right after this, we're gonna get pulled in, it's gonna be the spells coming up, and that's where the boss dies. So we're going in, gonna get pulled here again. If you get rooted here, whatever, you can break this set, doesn't matter. So we're getting through boss and break, we're getting pulled through, blue's gone through, left and right. We're getting pulled through, break this. So if you got packed, you can pack if you need to, whatever. You break it, I packed here, break's coming. At this point, it's gonna be a frontal coming up, which you need to bait, or just dodge, whatever. Not bait, dodge, fine. And then you're gonna have one final set of the spells, which come out right about here. Once I break this web, you're gonna see 1 through 5. I don't always like pacting that break because webs do hurt, but if I get the spell here, I'm typically pretty low as well, but I packed it, it is what it is. We get the spells, 1 through 5. You're only gonna have 4 again here in current prog in this fight, but they're both over here, whatever. Typically as a lock I'm assigned later on, I didn't get one, Muffins fit the spell here, as you can see. We're typically one of the later ones. So we're out here, this is the big damage amp. So UA's falling on Scheme Splinter, whatever, put it back up, no big deal. We have 30 Texas Spy Master, DC is ready to go. We have Pot again here as well. We held Pot to this point in the fight. We're getting the spells rolling. I'm putting my circle down. I don't really know why. Doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm just muscle memory from the spells. We're setting up here. There's no beetles here. Just both bosses are getting cleaved, right? Putting up Haunt on Scheme Splinter. Right after this, we're seeding. The boss jumps to the middle here. We do one dispel at the wall, which you can see was right about here. It was Cactus. He's a melee, bang, dispel. Easy, done. Boss jumps to the middle here. We're setting up a little bit. I try to wait for a Nubrash to get dragged over to Soul Rot. I don't know how big the range is on Soul Rot Cleave, but either way, it is what it is. It goes out. You can see his health bar over here. Soul Rot does hit him, so we're good. There it is. He's being dragged to the middle. We already Singularity. We just Soul Rotted. We're hitting Dark Lair right now. You can see it on my bars. Going in, we're potting. We're popping our Spy Master correctly this time. Popping Malevolence. Big Rapture amp, and the boss should take a lot of damage here. Now, if you prog past this point, you're going to have a handful of mechanics coming up still. With more damage amps coming in, it isn't like you'll see very far past this, but depending where it goes, you'll see a little bit. So we had the boss at 10% here. We're going to have a teleport. The boss, the skinny one's going to jump again, and you'll react to that accordingly. It's going to jump, I think, over here in this kill. Yeah, so we move over here, basically. We're going to have a frontal coming in, which you sort of have to semi-dodge. I'm far back. But we know we go to wall here. We're going to have a pull-in coming. So if you get this pull-in, just spread out. Good grip right there. Just spread out. Don't overstack. Just go through. I mean, it says keep. You don't need to if the boss is this low. But if the boss is higher for you, you're going to have to root the beetle again. And this is what part of the fight we don't really see anymore. You saw in Prog, where you're going to get the spells coming up and the root at the same time. This is all gone for us at this point because we have more damage amps coming in. But if you get this far, you're going to have to keep webs if you're assigned to it, root the boss, and deal with these spells that are coming out right now. So if you have this going on, the boss is going to run over here.
you're going to have your root partners, which you would, I think I might die here. I don't even know. The boss is dead too. I'm not even sure. A little scary. I should be over here, and he should be more like spread out. But you know, it is what it is. I don't think half the raid thought it would get this far. So, but if this happens to you, yeah, ours breaks. He moves too far. You're going to root the boss here with these roots, and at the same time, the spells are going out. It's pure chaos here, but it's okay because the boss is going to die for us. The boss will get rooted, like right about now, and the boss also has the spells going out. You'll have double damage amp from the boss. They're both stunned or whatever, but hey, you know, went a little further than we thought it would for our kill 2 weeks ago, but you probably shouldn't get this far either way. Even if you do, that's how to handle it. But CD wise, that's what I do. This is around the 820 timestamp. Really shouldn't get that far. Boss should die right about here in this, you know, spell set. So that's that. Scuffed the first CD set a little bit. I'm old, forgot my Spy Master, but is what it is. I think it was like a 70 either way. Wasn't even that bad for damage. But you know, hey, always do better. But that's like the general sequencing of it and stuff. Hopefully there's some tips and tricks along the way you guys might want to hear or see. And yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. GG, GN. See you later. Peace.